start-finish line. Oh, we've had a big incident. Lorandi has had a coming together with Carol Bash. You can see that Bash and Lorandi had a big coming together as they accelerated up. I think Lorandi's engine might have just stalled just a fraction. Bash ran into the back of him. His nose cone is, ironically enough, still attached to his cart. But he has managed to rejoin at the back of the field. Sensational before the lights even went out. That's Carol Bash in the Cosmic Cart. He is to start out of grid number 7. Leonardo Lorandi, in theory, starts right in front of him in grid number 5. Well, just sensational. Lorandi has rejoined in that baby race Tony Kart. Let's see if we get set to go racing this time. Just sensational. Sensibly, the race was delayed a lap. The nerves, the heart rates will be sky high for these senior KF drivers. Nicholas Nielsen acknowledges the drivers behind as they accelerate in the start-finish line. He hasn't got the best start, Nielsen. They're going to be side by side, but the Dane will just hold off and lead down into turn number 1 and 2. Fantastic start, it looks like. Casper Rose in second spot. So once again, we've got a Danish 1-2 Vartanyan. That's him on screen. The 207 Tony Kart is in third. Lorandi, how high do you reckon his heart rate would be? He's in fourth spot. And we've also lost 5 karts on the exit of turn number 3. The track is still blocked. The yellow flag is out. It looks as though we might have lost Armstrong in that. Another one of the Cosmic Karts is out as they come across the line. The track is still blocked on the exit of turn number 3. There's the yellow flag warning our race leader, Nicholas Nielsen. That was the remnants of the crash which you just saw. Martin van Leuven was one of the drivers caught up in that, as was Tom Bale, unfortunately. Marco Dionysis is also out. The Cosmic Kart was Maxime Potti. Takes no further part in this race. We had 34 starters. We are down to 27 on the opening lap of the race. And no surprises, the driver leading after all that commotion, it's Nicholas Nielsen. Second spot, Casper Rose. Third, Vartanyan. Then it's Lorandi. Carol Bash across the line in 5th. He's made up 2 spots. Nielsen's done a 47.1 in clear air. You can expect another half second or so to be shaved off that time. Armstrong is in 9th, one behind Richard Verschoor, who has made up 5 places. Tom Joyner is in 7th spot. He's made up 8. The 2013 World Champion from the United Kingdom. There he is, coming through on screen now. Tom Joyner in the Zanardi kart, powered by the TM. Lorandi has a big look up the inside of Rose, who has dropped back to 5th spot as Vartanyan moves into 2nd. Bash is 4th, Lorandi 3rd. Now the race starts to settle down, and they set about catching this man. Fastest lap of the race. There it is, 40. Spin to 8th place after starting on grid number 20. Fastest lap for Vartanyan as Felice Tiani goes up a spot in the CRG. He's now in 5th. Lorenzo Travisanuto is 16th in the PCR. He's come from grid 22 and he's absolutely flying, but he's got a lot of traffic in front of him. He's made up another spot just as we speak on the back straight. He's made up 2, in fact. They race down into the centre chicane. Nielsen, Vartanyan, every inch of the racetrack. There's Tiani leading Bash. Nielsen, the gap was 1.1 seconds. He now leads Vartanyan by 0.8, so the Russian is catching him. We've seen this in most of the heats, indeed, even in the pre-final. The other drivers gave their best attack. They fired all their missiles early in the race, and Nielsen said, hey, I've got it under control, and he went away and won all the heats and the pre-final. Will the final be any different? We've passed quarter race distance. They come down to the hairpin. That's Lorandi, Team Baby Race, in third spot. Looks over his shoulder to find the Dane of Casper Rose in fourth. A big gap back. In fact, it's 3 seconds between the leader and fifth spot. Tom Joyner up to seventh. Yuri Vips, good drive into 14th for the young Estonian. He's ahead of Anton Haga, who miraculously is racing after a spectacular crash yesterday. Let's just say he redesigned the catch fence on the exit of turn number 8. Haga is ahead of Marco Mastranzi, Benjamin Lassen, Max Futrell down in 18th spot. Not a great start for the Brit. Sassakorn Chiman-Cole way down in 25th spot, fighting with Jessica Backman. Nielsen. Fastest lap again for the Russian Alexander Vartanyan. He is catching your leader. This is the most pressure any driver has put on the young Dane all weekend. He's got the gap down to 0.5 of a second. Leonardo Lorandi watches on in third spot and thinks if these two start dicing amongst themselves, I'll be in the hunt for a win. He's 1 second behind, but a couple of passing moves and he'll be right up there on their tail. Nielsen adjusts the carburetor on that Vortex engine, looks over the shoulder. Oh, he's got a problem. Nielsen's out. Nielsen has got a problem. We saw him adjust the carburetor. Nicholas Nielsen, no! He's out. The Dane that everyone thought would walk away with this final has pulled off on the exit of turn number 2. You cannot believe it. This is the second time in 3 races here at La Conca that he has had bad luck after setting the pace. He's absolutely distraught. Walks back on the infield. His kart is stranded on the exit of turn number 2. He's absolutely disgusted. Takes his gloves off. The Russian Alexander Vartanyan says, how good is this? I'm the leader. Can't quite believe his luck. That's him. Wow. Sensational. They've passed the stranded kart of Nielsen now. Lorandi in second place now. That moves Felice Tieni up into third. The Russian leads the Italian. In fact, 2 Italians, then the first Dane. It's not Nielsen, it's Casper Rose. He's in fourth spot, still ahead of Carol Bash, who did win the opening 2 rounds of the series, let's remember. He won in Adria in cold, wet, windy conditions. He won in Castelletto in very wet, windy conditions. Here in the sunshine, Bash is in 5th spot, head of Tom Joyner, Richard Bashaw, Ben Henley from grid number 20 is now into 8th. That's him coming on screen now, number 242. He leads the Kiwi, Marcus Armstrong, Andreas Joachimsen. The 222 car of Petro Hiltbrand leads Lorenzo Trens. This is the 12th lap they're on. The gap has extended. You can see it's 1.6 seconds. It was 1.4. Henley in 8th, ahead of Armstrong. Those two fighting amongst themselves. But wow, going back to 3 or 4 laps ago, Nick, he sits so low in this kart. Excellent centre of gravity. The inside rear skips up. In fact, it looked like both right side tyres skipped into the air. Over the ripple strip, down through the centre chicane. Massive grip generated by these Vega tyres here at this La Conca circuit. Into the hairpin. Will start his 14th lap, I'm sorry. 6 to go. This is virtually 3/4 race distance. Carol Bash adjusts that Vortex engine. Bashaw with his head down in the 210 kart. 204 is the the Brit Tom Joyner. He's in the Zanardi kart there. Vartanyan reels off another lap. Gets excellent traction coming onto the back straight. Even though he puts the left rear into the dirt, it doesn't really affect him. Ward Racing, the team from Sweden, have got this Tony Kart absolutely on rails. Well, what was promising to be a sensational race has left us with 12 karts already parked on the sidelines, just over half race distance. Vachon is actually catching Casper Rose in 4th spot. Carol Bash has gone back into 6th. Lorenzo Travisanuto. Sensational drive by the Italian. He's come from grid 22 to be in 11th, with Andreas Jochimsen behind him. Down through the centre chicane. Onto the start-finish straight, accelerating up to 128 kilometres an hour. Leonardo Lorandi, a big look over his shoulder. Richard Vachon, he has been a star here in the WSK series. He's come from grid number 13. 21 drivers remain. That's Marcus Armstrong, 202 in the Tony Kart. Andreas Jochimsen in the MC01 kart. The team run by Armando Fellini. Sponsored by the Mad Croc Energy Drink Company. A sensation here in 2015. Very impressive setup in the paddock. Three laps to go now for the Russian Alexander Vartanyan. He has done a 46.005 to set the fastest lap of the race. Lorandi is still second. Felicitieni is trying desperately to chase down the 2 leaders, but he won't have enough time and he's nowhere near close enough. He will stand on the podium this afternoon as Richard Vachon goes through into 4th spot now. Makes the move on the Dane Casper Rose. Carol Bash follows from Tom Joyner. Down through the centre chicane for the 3rd. There's Tierney in the CRG. There's Vachon driving the wheels off that kart. Bash in the 203 Tony Kart, Cosmic Kart, I should say. It was painted green last year, but not in 2015. Marcus Armstrong into 8th spot. Hasn't been the best weekend for the young Kiwi, who took 2nd at the Winter Cup in Lonato about a month ago. The last lap board comes out for the Russian Alexander Vartanyan from Leonardo Lorandi. Felicitieni. Vachon now into 4th spot. This has been the drive of the race by the young Dutchman. Putting this man aside, the Vortex-powered Tony Kart is on its final tour of this 1.25 kilometre La Conca circuit. He will notch up his first win in the WSK series. Down through the centre chicane for the final time. Into the hairpin. He brakes, accelerates. The Russian will take the checkered flag. It goes to Alexander Vartanyan. He wins it from Leonardo Lorandi. Great drive by Felicitieni to come home in 3rd. He's happy with that.